Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how problems always seem bigger at night? It's as if your mind takes everything you've shoved aside during the day and magnifies it when the world quiets down. The truth is, when you wake up with that restless, heavy vibe, your mind is simply amplifying what's been lingering beneath the surface. Make no mistake, the way you handle those early morning moments can set the tone for your entire day. So what do you do when you're caught in that loop of racing thoughts, tangled sheets, and frustration? Well, I'm here to show you how to break the cycle and reclaim your peace. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Before we dive in, I truly ask that you take a moment to like this video. Your support means more than you know. It allows me to keep sharing these important lessons on aging and the wisdom that comes with it. If you haven't subscribed yet, I wholeheartedly recommend you do so, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. I want to be right here with you, guiding you each step of the way as we explore what truly matters in the later stages of life. And if you find value in this video, please let me know by commenting the number 1. It's more than just a number, it's a symbol of the impact we're making together. If this video didn't resonate with you, I'd love to hear from you as well. Comment 0 so I can better understand your thoughts and create content that truly speaks to you. Your feedback is what helps me grow and ensure I'm offering you the best experience. Now, with that said, let's begin this journey together. 1. Don't force sleep, do this instead. Picture this, you wake up in the middle of the night, your eyes snap on Though the pen, and immediately a wave of panic hits. You squint at the clock, and there it is, 3:17 a.m. glaring at you in that cold, unforgiving red or blue light. In that moment, your heart sinks. That familiar, sickening dread creeps in like an unwanted guest, and suddenly, you're in a mental whirlwind. Okay, if I fall back asleep right now, I can still get a solid 3 hours of sleep. Wait, no, it's down to 2.5. Oh God, now it's just 1 hour. Your mind races, your heart beats faster, and despite all your efforts to try and force yourself back into that peaceful slumber, sleep seems to slip further away. We've all been there, haven't we? That exhausting spiral of trying to claw back some sleep, only to have it escape us further. You're not alone in this. Waking up between 3 and 5 a.m. is more common than we realize, and it's not necessarily a doom and gloom situation like we often think. But here's the kicker. The panic, the frustration, the desperate attempt to force yourself back to sleep, that's the exact thing that's working against you. And if you're anything like me, you may have been there, lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself why you can't just get some peace. Let me tell you something you probably didn't want to hear. Fighting it is the worst thing you can do. Trust me on this. The more you try to control it, the more your body and mind rebel. It's like trying to herd cats while riding a unicycle. You're setting yourself up for failure, and all it does is ramp up your frustration and anxiety. In that moment when you're pleading with your brain to just shut off, you're unknowingly fueling the fire. Stress pours in, and with it comes cortisol, that horrible stress hormone that has a way of making things worse. Instead of helping, cortisol activates your body's alarm system, telling your body, nope, we're awake now, deal with it. It's almost as though the universe or our bodies are saying, you think you can control this? Think again. Your nervous system goes into overdrive, and suddenly you're more awake than you were when you first woke up. It's maddening, isn't it? But here's the bitter truth. The more you fight sleep, the more elusive it becomes. So let's flip the script. Instead of succumbing to the stress and frustration, what if we could turn this midnight wake-up into something a little more manageable? Heck, maybe even productive. First, stop lying there in defeat. Don't just let the bed consume you in a vortex of anxiety. Sit up slowly. No need to jerk yourself into full wakefulness, but just enough to signal to your body that this isn't a hopeless situation. Then shift your focus to something calming, your breath. This might sound simple, but trust me, it's powerful. Take slow, deep breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for a moment, and then exhale for a count of 6. Do this a few times, and I promise you'll start to feel the tension melt away. It's not magic, it's biology at work. Deep, rhythmic breathing triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest mode. And it directly counters that fight or flight response that cortisol pushes into motion. You'll feel your shoulders loosen, and your heart beats steady. It's like your body is hitting a reset button. Next, become your detective. Ask yourself, what woke me up? Is it something physical? Maybe your pillow has lost its fluff, or your sheets have twisted into a suffocating mess around your legs. Or perhaps the room is too hot, too cold, or just too stuffy. You'd be amazed how a small discomfort can pull you from a deep sleep without you even realizing it at first. Don't ignore it. Address the issue right then and there. Fluff the pillow, untangle the sheets, and adjust the temperature. Studies show that 60 to 67 DEGF is the ideal range for sleep. Science doesn't lie. And yes, grabbing a glass of water may help too. Dehydration is sneaky and can disturb your sleep without you even noticing. Don't just lie there enduring the discomfort. Take control of your environment. Small changes can make a world of difference. Now here's where it gets interesting. Those early hours between 3 and 5 a.m., they're not the curse we think they are. They've got an almost magical reputation. Ever heard of the witching hour or the hour of the wolf? Sure, it sounds like something from folklore, but there's something about that quiet time of night that's ripe for inspiration. Some of the world's most brilliant minds, like Leonardo da Vinci and Nikola Tesla, didn't just tolerate these early wake-ups, they thrived on them. Da Vinci famously napped throughout the day, saying it fueled his creativity. Tesla, who reportedly only slept a couple of hours a night, embraced the stillness of the night to dream up world-changing inventions. Those hours of stillness when the world outside is quiet and your mind is suspended in that half-awake state can be a goldmine for inspiration. So, don't waste it. Keep a notebook and pen next to your bed. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something you can quickly jot down your thoughts. You never know what may come from these early hours. It could be a random thought, a solution to a problem you've been struggling with, or even an idea for your next great adventure. The point is that you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by capturing those fleeting moments of brilliance before they slip away. If writing isn't your thing, try a low-stress distraction. But whatever you do, don't reach for your phone. The blue light is a cortisol-triggering nightmare, and let's be honest, scrolling through endless TikTok videos is not going to help. Instead, try to picture something calm, like waves crashing on a beach or the quiet of a forest at dawn. Or, if you're feeling restless, get up for a moment, stretch, roll your shoulders, give your body a little reset. The key is not to let yourself fall into the stress trap. Accept that you're awake, not as a failure, but as an opportunity. Sleep will come when it's ready, and your job is to create the right environment for it, not to force it. So the next time 3 a.m. hits and you wake up, don't panic. Take a deep breath, adjust your surroundings, and maybe even take this moment to explore your thoughts. Those quiet hours might surprise you. After all, they're only the enemy if you make them one. And remember, you are not alone in this. You're human, you're doing your best, and sleep will come in its own time. 2. Hydrate, but smartly. You wake up in the dead of night, 3:47 a.m. to be precise, and something feels off. There's that uncomfortable dryness in your mouth as if you've been chewing on cotton balls for hours. Maybe your legs are restless, twitching and tossing, unable to find a comfortable position. Or maybe you're just lying there, feeling strangely overheated despite the coolness of the room. You know this feeling. It's unsettling, familiar, like your body is sending out an urgent distress signal and you can't quite figure out why. Well, let me tell you, there's a sneaky culprit at play here that's far more common than we give it credit for. Dehydration. That's right, dehydration can silently creep up on you while you sleep, and when it does, it leaves you with that parched, uncomfortable sensation, as if your body is desperately calling out for relief. It's not some random issue either. Your body has been losing water while you sleep through natural processes like sweating and breathing, and now it's just asking for a little top-up. But here's the kicker. Aggregate are not always as obvious as it seems. You might not even realize what's happening until you're tossing and turning in the night, struggling to find comfort. But before you get up and start guzzling water straight from the tap, let's stop for a second and think about the best way to rehydrate in the middle of the night. Hydrating is more than just chugging water. It's about doing it wisely. If you get this right, you might just turn an exhausting wake-up into a peaceful, smooth slide back to sleep. So, here's what I suggest. Resist the urge to reach for ice-cold water. I know it feels like the perfect quick fix, especially if you're feeling hot and frazzled, but gulping down a glass of ice-cold water when you're trying to get back to sleep is like throwing a bucket of freezing water on a sleepy cat. It's the last thing you want to do. That cold shock sends a jolt through your system, kicking your body into alert mode. Suddenly, you're more awake than you were 5 minutes ago, and it becomes impossible to drift back into that soothing, dreamlike state. Instead, go for water that's room temperature or slightly warm. I know it might seem counterintuitive when you're feeling overheated, but trust me, it's much gentler on your body. Warm or room temperature water mimics your body's natural state, and it glides down without sending your nervous system into overdrive. Keep a small bottle or a glass of water on your nightstand. Nothing fancy, just enough to sip slowly without making it feel like a middle-of-the-night quest. Just a simple, easy solution within reach. It's these little adjustments that can make all the difference. Now, let's take this up a notch. Plain water is good, but let's be real. Your body isn't just craving H2O right now. It's been quietly losing essential minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium while you've been sleeping. Have you ever woken up with a dull headache or that frustrating wired but tired feeling? That's your body signaling that it's running low on these electrolytes. The tiny yet mighty minerals that keep your muscles calm and your nerves balanced. So here's a simple trick. Add a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt to your water. Celtic or Himalayan are great choices. Please, avoid the iodized table salt. I'm not talking about turning your water into a salty mess, but just a few grains, just enough to replenish what's been lost during your sleep. This subtle boost will help restore your electrolyte balance without overwhelming your kidneys. If salt's not your thing, don't worry. Try squeezing a bit of lemon juice into your water. Not only does it add a refreshing zing, but it also brings a touch of potassium and helps with digestion, which tends to slow down while you sleep. It's these small additions that help your body find its rhythm again. Take a slow, measured sip. Let that cool, soothing hydration settle in. Now, I know it's easy to feel anxiety creeping in, especially in the stillness of the night. Maybe your brain has decided that 4 a.m. is the perfect time to replay that embarrassing conversation from 3 days ago, right? It's maddening, isn't it? But here's a game changer. Keep a thermos of chamomile tea by your bed. Brew it before you sleep. Nothing too strong, just a light infusion. Chamomile is more than just an old wives' tale. It's packed with a compound that binds to receptors in your brain, helping calm your nerves and push anxiety out the door. The warmth soothes your throat, and that faint, comforting floral taste distracts your mind from its relentless overthinking. Before you know it, you'll feel your muscles begin to relax and your thoughts will begin to slow down. You'll be drifting off again, effortlessly. The best part? Chamomile hydrates you without overloading your bladder, so you won't find yourself waking up again in an hour. Why is all this so important? Dehydration doesn't just mess with your body, it wreaks havoc on your sleep cycle too. When you're low on fluids, your heart has to work harder, your body temperature regulation goes haywire, and your muscles start throwing tantrums. All of this happening quietly in the background, making it tough to get back to sleep. A simple hydration tweak can completely change the game. Think of it like topping off the oil in your car during a long road trip. It's not about overdoing it, but just making sure everything runs smoothly. When your body has what it needs, it can keep humming along peacefully, and your sleep will thank you. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night feeling parched or restless, don't just reach for a quick gulp of cold water and hope for the best. Sip slowly, hydrate smartly, and maybe even lean on chamomile's calming embrace. It's a simple ritual, but when done right, it can transform that groggy, bleary-eyed moment into a peaceful reset. Your body, your mind, and your sleep, everything will thank you for it. You deserve that peace, that rest, that calm in the chaos. 3. Check your emotions. It might be a signal. Your body is trying to get your attention. You wake up at 4:12 a.m. and it's not just the usual grogginess pulling you out of sleep. No, this time there's a weight, a deep, restless hum in your chest, an ache that you can't quite name. It's a vague sense of unease, like something's off, but you can't put your finger on it. Maybe your mind's already churning, replaying a tense moment from yesterday, or dreading something hanging over you shortly. You know the feeling, this haunting, hollow sensation that catches you at the strangest times, like your thoughts have a life of their own, creeping into the quiet darkness. Sound familiar? Well, here's a twist you might not have considered. Your emotions could be the alarm clock ringing in the dark, waking you up when you least expect it. It's not just a random occurrence either. There's a fascinating connection here that we often overlook. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, ties those early morning hours, roughly between 3 and 5 a.m., to the lungs. But here's the catch. The lungs in TCM aren't just about breathing. They're deeply connected to emotions like sadness, grief, and stress. If you wake up during this window feeling heavy-hearted or unsettled, it might not be a coincidence. It could be your body's subtle way of telling you that something unresolved is lurking beneath the surface, quietly waiting for your attention. Let's explore this for a moment. In TCM, each organ is believed to have its own time of day when it's most active, and the lungs reign over the 3 to 5 a.m. time frame. Practitioners often say this is when the body processes not just air, but emotional residue. Imagine it like a quiet cleanup crew for your soul, sifting through the emotional baggage you didn't even realize you were carrying. If there's unresolved sadness, maybe from a lingering loss, an unsaid word, a quiet regret, or the stress from that email you never sent or that argument you never settled, it has a way of bubbling up right when the world is still and the night is quiet. It's almost as if your body is saying, I need you to deal with this. Now, modern science doesn't quite map emotions onto organs the same way TCM does, but it's not too far off the mark. Research shows that stress and emotional overload can disrupt sleep, and often these emotions peak in the early morning hours when your brain is sorting through the day's baggage. Ever notice how problems seem to get bigger at night? It's as if your mind is amplifying everything you've shoved aside during the day. In the stillness of the night, emotions flood in like a storm, making your worries seem so much heavier than they did before. So what should you do when you wake up with that restless, heavy feeling? Don't just lie there letting it fester. Don't let it consume you. Instead, check in with yourself, sit up a little, prop a pillow behind you, and take a moment to ask, what's on my mind? What am I carrying that won't let go? Don't overthink it. Just let the first thoughts that come to mind rise. It might be a specific worry, like a deadline that looms over you like a thundercloud, or maybe it's something vaguer, an ache of sadness you've been too busy to feel. You have that notebook on your nightstand, right? The one you promised yourself you'd use for moments like this? Grab it. Write down 3 things, anything that pops up in your head. It doesn't matter if they're messy, unpolished, or half-formed. Maybe it's something as simple as, I'm mad at Jen, or I miss how things used to be, or even, why am I even awake right now? Just get it out of your head and onto the page. It's not about solving these feelings at that moment. It's about unloading them. Trust me, there's something incredibly freeing about getting those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. The moment you release them, you're telling your mind that it's okay to let go, just for now. If you're finding this insight valuable, please drop a 2 in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another video. Your support makes all the difference and helps us continue creating content that informs, inspires, and resonates with you. Now, let's move forward. Let's take this a step further by adding a physical release. After writing down your thoughts, take 5 slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for a beat, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. With each exhale, imagine that tension melting away like steam rising off a hot cup of tea. As you breathe, tell yourself out loud or in your head, I release this for now. It's a tiny ritual, but it's powerful. You're not pretending the feelings don't exist. You're not ignoring them. You're simply allowing yourself to set them down for the moment, letting them rest while you focus on your well-being. Think of it like putting a bookmark in a heavy novel. You can pick up that book again when you're ready, but for now the story can wait. You don't need to solve everything at 4 a.m. You're not a superhero, and let's face it, your brain is too foggy at this hour to make any grand breakthroughs. What matters most right now is listening to the signal your body is sending you. If you wake up feeling restless, heavy, or emotionally charged, don't fight it, don't ignore it, lean into it, name it, feel it, and release it. This practice, journaling, breathing, and allowing yourself to release, has real scientifically backed benefits. Studies show that journaling can significantly reduce stress and anxiety by offloading those swirling thoughts. Psychologists call it externalizing cognition, which is essentially handing your brain a filing cabinet instead of letting it juggle everything at once. One study from the University of Rochester found that writing about emotional experiences for just 15 minutes can reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality over time. It's incredible, isn't it? Even a quick scribble in the dark can signal to your nervous system that it's okay to let go, to unwind. And those slow, deliberate breaths, they trigger your body's rest and recover system, reducing cortisol and helping you relax. But this isn't about solving everything right now. It's not about fixing every issue that's causing you stress or heartache. It's about listening to your body and your emotions, giving them the space they need, and allowing yourself to release the tension so you can get back to rest. Those quiet, still hours might just be your emotions begging for your attention, and giving them that time, that moment of acknowledgement, could be the key to reclaiming your peace and sleep. Next time the clock glows 3 a.m. at 0 something and your heart feels full of unresolved emotions, try this. Let it out, write it down, breathe it away. You might be surprised by how much lighter you feel and how much deeper you sleep when you give yourself that grace. Move gently, reset your body, and ease back into rest. You're awake again. 4:23 a.m. The clock mocks you with its unblinking glow, but now you're in control and you've already started to reclaim your peace. Your muscles have been clenched like they're bracing for a battle. That tension, that tightness, it's a physical manifestation of stress. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay that way. Take a deep breath and let your muscles know that the fight is over. It's time to let go. Start with your shoulders. Chances are they've been up near your ears, practically hoarding stress as if it were their only job. Lift them high, like you're trying to touch the ceiling, and then drop them down with a soft, gentle exhale. Do this 3 or 4 times, each time pairing the lift with a deep breath in and the release with a long breath out. It's like hitting a reset button for the tension that's been creeping up your back all day. And honestly, if you hear a little crack or pop, don't worry. It's your body's way of thanking you for the attention you're finally giving it. Now let's get that blood moving. If you're still lying flat in bed, scoot to the edge and prepare for a simple seated forward fold. Don't worry, you don't need to channel your inner yoga pro. This isn't about being perfect. It's just about releasing that built-up tension. Hinge at your hips, let your hands slide gently toward your knees or the floor and hang there for a few seconds. No need to force it. Think of it like a slow, soothing stretch, a deep sigh for your spine. This helps boost circulation, which can stagnate after lying horizontal for too long, and it'll ease that tight, cooped-up feeling in your lower back. While you're down there, take a deep, calming breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and feel your rib cage expand. It's a quiet, reassuring signal to your nervous system. We're good. No emergencies here. Now let's shake off that restless energy. Lift one leg at a time, nothing fancy, just a light, quick jiggle, like you're shaking water off your foot after a swim. Do this for about 10 seconds per leg, allowing any twitchiness in your calves or thighs to fizzle out. Sure, it may feel silly, but I promise it works. Restless legs can be a sleep killer, and this simple action can trick them into settling down. Combine this movement with slow, steady breathing, 4 counts in, 6 counts out, and you'll be signaling to your parasympathetic nervous system, the body's chill-out crew, to take over from the adrenaline junkies that have been keeping you awake. If your hands or feet feel cold, that's another subtle clue that your circulation is lagging, and let me tell you, it's a sneaky sleep saboteur. Your body can't fully relax when your extremities are icy. So here's a quick fix. Rub your hands together like you're starting a fire, then cup your hands over your feet if they're chilly too. The friction warms them up fast, and that cozy warmth signals your brain that it's safe to drift off. And here's the science behind it. Studies show that warm hands and feet help with faster sleep onset. That's because your body's core temperature naturally drops when it's ready to sleep. And toasty extremities help that process along. So go ahead, warm them up and let your body thank you for it. If you're still with me and finding these insights helpful, drop a 3 in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to do so. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that educates and inspires. Now let's move on. It's 3:58 a.m. and your brain has decided it's the perfect time for a mental sprint. Thoughts are ricocheting around like ping pong balls. Did I lock the door? What's that meeting tomorrow? Why did I say that dumb thing in 2019? Every attempt to shush those thoughts just cranks the volume higher, and suddenly you're wide awake, trapped in a hamster wheel of overthinking. Sound familiar? The more you try to push those thoughts away, the stronger they push back. Sleep feels a million miles away. When your mind races like this, forcing it to just relax is about as effective as telling a toddler to sit still after they've had a sugar rush. But here's a secret weapon that works wonders: sound. The right kind of audio can gently lasso your runaway brain and guide it back to calm, without requiring any willpower from you. Forget about scrolling on your phone. That's a dopamine spiking trap. Instead, let's explore 3 sonic shortcuts that can help you drift off faster than you can say insomnia. First up, pink noise. You've probably heard of white noise, the staticky hum like a TV left on a dead channel, but pink noise is its cooler, more sleep-friendly cousin. Imagine the steady patter of gentle rain, the soft whoosh of wind through trees, or the rhythmic crash of ocean waves. Unlike white noise, which blasts all frequencies at equal intensity and can feel harsh, pink noise softens the higher frequencies, creating a deeper, more soothing blanket of sound. Why does it work? Science says it syncs with your brain waves, nudging them toward the slower rhythms of deep sleep. A 2017 study from Northwestern University found that pink noise not only improves sleep quality, but can even enhance memory the next day. Keep a small speaker or a downloaded track by your bed. Set it to a soft volume, just enough to hear it without jarring you. Let the rain fall and feel your thoughts blur into the background. If pink noise isn't your thing, or you're in the mood for something a bit more guided, try a short sleep meditation. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes max, nothing too long. Picture a calm, soothing voice walking you through slow, deep breaths, or a body scan. Feel your toes relax. Now your ankles, your calves. It's like a bedtime story for grown-ups. The beauty of guided meditation is that it gives your brain a job that's boring enough to tire it out, but focused enough to derail the worry train. You don't need a fancy app. There are plenty of free tracks on YouTube or podcasts. Choose one with no loud intros or sudden ads. Set the volume low, almost a whisper, and let that voice gently pull you away from the mental chatter. Alternatively, if you're a fan of words, try a monotone audiobook. The key here is monotone. This isn't the time for gripping thrillers or dramatic fantasies with booming narrators. Pick something dull but pleasant. Maybe a dry history of Victorian gardening or a geology lecture about sedimentary rocks. The trick is a steady, low-energy voice. Think of it like auditory ambient sound. Your brain will latch onto the words just enough to stop spiraling, but the lack of drama allows it to drift. I once fell asleep to a guy droning on about the life cycle of moss, out cold in 10 minutes. And I don't even like plants. Keep the audiobook queued up on a device with a sleep timer so it doesn't run all night. And make sure the volume is barely there. No cliffhangers or loud shifts to yank you back awake. And with the right kind of sound, your brain will settle and sleep will feel so much closer. It's all about finding what works for you and letting go of the chase. Why does all this sound stuff work? It's simple, really. Your brain is deeply wired to respond to patterns. It craves rhythms and repetition like a comforting embrace. When your mind is racing in the dead of night, it's like a car stuck in high gear, spinning its wheels and getting nowhere. Introducing sound, whether it's pink noise, the gentle tap of rain, or a calming voice guiding you through a meditation, shifts your brain into neutral, then reverse, and slowly eases you back into rest. It's the mental equivalent of a gentle push toward calm. And guess what? Science backs it up. A 2013 review in Sleep Medicine found that low-level, consistent audio, things like pink noise or soothing guided tracks, reduces arousal in the nervous system, which means it takes less time to fall asleep. But it's not about trying to drown out your racing thoughts. No, the magic is in offering your brain a gentler, more pleasant track to follow. Instead of trying to force the chaos of your mind into silence, let it settle into something rhythmic and predictable. So, next time your mind is running laps at 4 a.m. like a hamster on a wheel, skip the phone doom scroll. Trust me, you're not going to solve anything by mindlessly scrolling through social media. Instead, reach for sound. Cue up some pink noise, a track of gentle rain, a short guided meditation, or even a dull narrator droning on about something so mundane it would bore a caffeine addict. Keep it low, steady, and most importantly, drama-free. It's like a lullaby for your overworked head. Before you know it, you'll be back in dreamland, leaving the hamster wheel far behind. Well, there you have it, 5 powerful steps to transform those 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. wake-ups into opportunities for peace, health, and maybe even a little self-discovery. I hope this gives you a fresh perspective on how to listen to your body and mind when they're asking for a little extra attention. So tell me, what's one thing you've learned from this video so far? Maybe it's sipping warm water with lemon before bed, trying that gentle stretch routine to release the tension, or even jotting down your thoughts to calm your emotions. Pick one thing you're excited to try and bring into your life and drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it works out for you. Your thoughts and experiences matter, and sharing them might just spark something beautiful in someone else's journey too. As we wrap up, I want to thank you for sticking with me through these simple yet powerful strategies for transforming those restless, early morning wake-ups into moments of peace and self-discovery. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from this video that you're excited to try in your own life? Is it sipping warm water with lemon, trying a gentle stretch routine to release tension, or using sound to guide your mind to sleep? Drop a comment below and let me know what you'll bring into practice moving forward. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and insights to help you live your best life. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to keep sharing more helpful content with you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.